Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of a new series called Communities Unite. And today I'm joined with Macy and Ben, and it's going to be really cool because it's kind of a mixture today because Macy has Crohn's and Ben has ulcerative colitis, so it's going to be a bit of a mixture, but within the IBD world today. So I'm going to get Macy and Ben to introduce themselves, and then we can kind of start sharing our stories a little bit. So Macy, if I start with you, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Macy. I'm currently at uni in central London studying chemical engineering. Started in September, so it's been a big change, but I'm having fun.
Yeah. So you're enjoying you're enjoying it.
Yeah.
That's good. Ben, you introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Ben. I've got ulcerative colitis, and I'm currently studying psychology at the University of Lincoln.
Yeah. Well, we're all at uni, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, what are you doing at uni, Macy?
Chemical engineering. A lot of maths.
Yeah. I'm not too good at maths, so like you know when you're at school and they do all this algebra, and I've no clue what I'm doing.
I'm the opposite. I'm so bad at English, but I could probably do maths in my sleep.
Yeah, I'm the opposite as well. I'm probably better at English. I have to be, because when I do a podcast episode like this, guys, I have to write out. I have to say what we're speaking about and pick a name for the episode. So what I do is when we're speaking about a certain thing, I'll think of what it's called. I'll probably know what it's called, but yeah, it's pretty cool. So Macy, when was you diagnosed with Crohn's?
It was November 2017, so it's 5 years this month, which was crazy.
Yeah.
I had quite a quick diagnosis, which was good. It was like the summer of that year that I properly got ill, and then by the November I was diagnosed, which was really good.
Yeah, it's good. It's good when it goes really fast, I think. Yeah. I was the same, except from it was October, not November, in 2017. Yeah. What about you, Ben?
I think it was I think it was also 2017. But I'd been ill sort of maybe 4 years. So I was the complete opposite of you guys. And it took me so long to get a diagnosis. I kept getting pushed away. And then eventually, I think it was September 2017, I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis.
Yeah. Like 2017 is a famous year.
Yeah.
Yeah. It like I got diagnosed in October, but like throughout the year I could tell like it was different. Like couldn't eat certain things and couldn't eat anything at times, and lost lots of weight as well. Yeah. So I like Macy. What did you have a colonoscopy to get diagnosed?
Yeah. So it was October half term, and I'd been ill, so my GP referred me to King's College Hospital. So I went there and I had a colonoscopy, and as soon as I'd woken up, the doctor who did it was like, I think it's Crohn's disease, or she was like, they weren't sure if it was Crohn's or colitis, but she knew it was one of them. And then it was like a couple of weeks later that I got diagnosed, and I had colonoscopy and an endoscopy, and then a couple of MRIs after that to double check everything.
Yeah, they're not friendly, are they? Like those.
No. Luckily, because I was still a child, I was put to sleep. So I was put under anesthetic. I don't think I could do it awake.
Yeah. What about you, Ben? Have you had a one before?
Yeah, so I was at Queen's Med in Nottingham, and yeah, I had colonoscopy, endoscopy, all that stuff, and I was also, luckily, I suppose, under the age of, well, yeah, because I was 15 at the time, so yeah, so I was put to sleep as well. I mean, I know someone who wasn't, and they said it was quite an interesting experience. So, and I'm sure I'll have to have another one in the future. So
Yeah,
who knows what will happen?
yeah. I was actually awake for mine. Yeah, I was awake. And it weren't very nice, but like like last year I actually had another one, but not it like it was just like like it wasn't the whole thing. It was just like not the throat one, the other one I had, and I had sedation for that one. And no, tell a lie, I didn't have sedation. I had gas and air for that one. And then for the first one, like the one I got diagnosed with, I had sedation for that one. And the annoying thing about sedation is, if you have sedation, you have to stay for like a while afterwards. But if you have gas and air, you don't. You can just go home. And I think both appointments were in the morning, and I was moody, so I didn't want to stay. So I had that, but yeah, not nice. Yeah, but like Macy, like how are your Crohn's doing at the moment?
Um, I'm not too sure. I think it's okay. I had an appointment quite recently. So in May, I was put on like a treatment of steroids just because it was really active. And I'm on adalimumab, which is like one of the injection pens, and they upped that as well to weekly. And then I had an appointment yesterday, and I've got to have tests. Like I've got to have an MRI, possibly an endoscopy as well, to make sure that everything's okay. Because I've not had endoscopy since I first got diagnosed, and like I'm at a whole new hospital now as well, so they want to just have stuff for their own records, which is kind of terrifying. But
Yeah, it sounds yeah, like I guess that's the thing about you guys, like maybe in a way, like from home and at your uni, because you had to go to a different hospital, and unless I don't know, Ben, if your uni is near where you live or anything, but if it's not, it must be it's tricky.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too far from home, but because where I live, my most local hospitals are either Lincoln or Nottingham, and I'm living in Lincoln, so it makes sense because I was at Addenbrooke's in Cambridge. Um, so I went from Queen's Med to Addenbrooke's, and I'm currently in the process of getting enrolled, I suppose, at Lincoln Hospital. Because I've been experiencing some I suppose it's kind of like a little flare up, you know, a bit more noticeable blood, and you know, discomfort mainly. So I'm just trying to get that all under control whilst transferring hospitals pretty much, which is a bit of a pain because I'm sure you know what contacting hospitals can be like sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, it's really bad sometimes, like trying to get appointments and stuff, and like you may see, I take the mirror like you, so I have it every 2 weeks, so um it's easier I think than having something injection in the hospital if you can have it like at like uni maybe for you or like at home, rather just going in all the time.
yeah, I find it a lot easier as well than an infusion because it's like over in 10 seconds. Whereas something else, because I'm not too fond of needles, which is a bit of a problem. But like it's over so quickly, I can get past it. But like infusions and everything really stumped me.
Yeah, yeah, like infusions they are not the friendliest of things, are they?
No.
Yeah, like I was on infusion before, like but before the Humira. I actually my consultant said I could have gone on Humira first, but I wanted to go on the infusions first just because I was not long after getting diagnosed with Crohn's, and I wanted to just be in the hospital just so people could see I'm doing all right and everything. And but that only lasted a year, and then I
Mm.
then I've been Humira since. So, but it's good when you get something that's working for you, I think. Yeah. What about you, Ben? Are you like taking any medication for your current
Um,
arthritis?
not at the moment. I was when I was diagnosed, I was straight away I was given enemas. They didn't work for me. And then I had a course of steroids, and then I had suppositories, and then I had steroid suppositories. And at this point, none of that was working. And I've always known that where my colitis is, it's right at the very end of my colon. So I think it's like the last 5 centimeters of it. So at the moment, I know I'm not in need of any sort of infusions or injections, anything like that. So that's when I transferred to Addenbrooke's Hospital in Cambridge, and they basically stripped me of all that medication. And because at this point, it was taking a massive toll on my mental health. I was missing school and just not being able to do normal stuff. And they put me on sertraline for my anxiety, which I'm still on. And so far, that's been doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, yeah. It like mental health, I think, gets really affected with like what goes on, doesn't it? Because like it's good not being on any medication. I think that's where most people with IBD want to be, because like although medication helps us, like if we were in a good place maybe and we're not on it, it's good. But like you still get symptoms if you're not in a flare, don't you? Or like maybe fatigue. It's maybe one where like maybe for you guys, if you're doing quite a lot of work with uni, and then you get so tired, and then like it even if you're just maybe writing something or doing some maths, Macy, or something. Yeah.
Yeah, fatigue's like a big issue right now, and I feel like because it's getting darker earlier, it sets in earlier. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I completely agree actually. Like I've like recently noticed that like it's like as we're talking now, it's pitch black. So
Yeah.
um like do you guys prefer it like when it was lighter earlier than like getting dark later?
Yeah. When there's
Yeah.
more sunlight, because it makes you feel more awake.
Yeah, I think when I wake up first thing in the morning and it's still pitch black. I've got an alarm set for 8:30, and I'm in uni at 10 or whatever, and it's like, oh, well, I don't want to get up because it's still dark out. Whereas if it's light, it's kind of like, oh, I need to get up. And yeah, I experience a bit of fatigue every now and again. If I've had a bad day where I've been to the toilet a lot and I've been losing quite a bit of blood or whatever, then I can feel a bit more fatigue than normal.
Yeah, yeah, and I think blood is not great. Like you spoke of like an enema, Ben. I had one of them last year, and like it's quite funny. It was before like a Crohn procedure I was having, just to check things, and it was a week after my birthday. So on my birthday, I was a bit nervous because I was thinking, oh look, I've got some Crohn's next week, and yeah, I had the enema, and the nurse says, try and hold your toilet as long as you can, and I was thinking, all right, is it that simple? Is it? And then 5 seconds later, I'm in the hospital bed because you have to turn over for someone to put it in, and and I got someone I know quite well doing it as well, and then like 5 seconds later, I'm running to the loo, and then I'm there for about half hour because I don't want to get back up again and go back to the loo every 5 seconds. And what happened was like it's a pool of blood it was in there, and I probably expected it because like 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 now when you're used to like have like Crohn's or ulcerative colitis, you're used to having blood like maybe quite a lot of the time. Maybe it's not every day, but when it is in there, you maybe feel a bit down if you see a bit of blood in there, and it shouldn't be there. It shouldn't be red, but it's a bit sad, isn't it?
Had you had enemas before that?
No, that was my first one.
Yeah, I remember when I had my first one, it was because we when I was diagnosed, they literally just gave us a box of them and sent us home and were like, do these. And it was kind of like, what? Is that is that it? Do we not get any kind of guidance? And yeah, I struggle with those, and I know it's so strange. It's like you put it in and then it's like instantly you need to go to the toilet, and it's the same with suppositories as well. I think after a while you get used to the feeling and you can kind of hold it off and ride it out a bit. But yeah, they're not particularly nice.
Yeah, yeah. I laugh about it now because like it's funny because another nurse was in the room and he said, do you need me to roll the bed to the toilet? And I was saying, roll the bed? That's going to take it probably longer for me to get there, even though the toilet was right next to the room. But I didn't see the point the rolling the bed, because I could move. It's not like I was like a blood clot or something, and that sometimes in the hospital I will just move because you know, if you're in hospital and you can't move and you're just in the bed all day, and like Macy, you say you don't like needles. I'm the same. Like if there's something that I haven't had before, and I'll just put it in. Like if someone's laying on the bed and they have to have this needle to make their blood flow, I'm saying I'm getting up, I'm moving. I'm not having another needle in me.
I'm the same. I feel like I've gotten a lot better than what I used to be, but still I can't watch them put the needle in or anything. Or like when you have a cannula, I can't look at that in my arm. It has to be like covered up, otherwise I'm just, you know, you just think, oh no.
Yeah, I remember having the first time having a cannula and thinking, well, what's going on?
Yeah. I remember when, because I was in hospital a few years back, I had a really bad flare up. And obviously they put the cannula in, and I'm not too bothered by cannula and needles and stuff. It doesn't really affect me too much. But I remember, I think after, because I was in hospital for a couple of days, and then one of the nurses came in on like the day before I came out, and she said, "Oh, your cannula's in wonky." And me and my mum just looked at each other and we were like, "What?" And because it had been kind of, obviously they were putting like antibiotics and stuff in, and it kind of stung when they went in a bit. And they were like, "Yeah, it's in wonky. It's not in straight." I was like, "Okay, well, might need to do some retraining there then."
Yeah, it's like cannulas are the most awkward of things I think you can possibly have, like of a needle. Like I wouldn't look at the cannula when they're putting it in. I've maybe talked to the person who's doing it, but I would rather not. Just I want them to concentrate doing it. But if I go for a blood test, it's funny because I hated blood tests when I was younger, but now I'm just so used to them. I will look at it. I'll just be I don't know why. I'll just look at it now because I'm just too used to it. Like but yeah, I've had some bad experiences with blood tests in the past. Like younger, where I went to my local doctors and I had the blood test and she did it when I didn't expect it, and I got up and I think blood was pouring out my arm and things, and she said she didn't finish it that day, so she called me back the following week to do it again, and she apologized. She gave me a sticker, which like I was like, okay, I'm getting a sticker.
makes everything better.
Yeah, definitely
That's
makes
like the first ever infusion I had an iron infusion, and the doctor did my cannula instead of one of the nurses, and he couldn't get it into my vein. So he tried both like arms, both hands, and there was like blood pouring down one of my arms, and I was just sitting there sobbing because it was like the year after I got diagnosed, so I was quite young, and I was just sitting there crying. He got it in the end, but it was stressful.
God, jeez.
Oh, yeah, like I don't like it's really like it's strange like how things happen and stuff, because like oh yeah, it might I think this was when I was either I couldn't walk because there was a period where I couldn't walk for some odd reason. I still don't know why, because I went in the hospital for some reason and I couldn't walk, and that it wasn't Crohn's related at all. It was just for some reason I couldn't walk, and because of that, it was either that or it was when I was in a massive flare up with my Crohn's, where I went to A&E, and I had a blood test, and the guy did it wrong. He put it in right place, and I don't say anything because I don't know what's going on. And then I did cry, because of it, and he like it stopped in the end because I think my dad said, you need to stop, you doing it, what are you doing? And his assistant came and apologized, and in my mind I thought, why do you not apologize? And then I understand why he didn't, because I wouldn't have been happy at him if he came over, I think. But yes, silly things we go through, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Because like it's I like it when we don't go to the hospital like awfully a lot, but when you don't hear from them, you kind of feel like, oh, that's a bit strange. We need to hear from them once in a while.
You don't want to hear anything. At the same time, you want to hear stuff. So it's like you're stuck in like a crossroads, which is always a nightmare.
Yeah, yeah, it is a nightmare. Like I think I have my next because I have to meet with my consultant every year, like at least once a year, unless something goes wrong with my Crohn's, which would be more than a year. But like I'm supposed to meet with him in January, so hopefully everything's all right. But like I've yeah, like I also take vitamin D, I think, form of fatigue. So it's hard to see any difference at this time of the year because, like you say, you just get tired more, like because of the darkness, I think. But like because since that like because we're all part of this I think Cicra or Cicra, I don't know what they call it. It's either one or the other. But before that, did you guys meet many others with like Crohn's or ulcerative colitis?
My mum's cousin's wife has colitis, I want to say. So like we knew of it, but I never really spoke to her about it. Like I knew someone else with it, and like my nan's friend's granddaughter has it as well. So like I knew other people with it, but I never actually spoke to anyone with it. And since then, I've actually met quite a few. Since joining Cicra, I met quite a few people outside of that had it as well. It was really weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I don't think I'd heard of Crohn's, but I'd never heard of colitis. And I remember when they told me, they said, you know, have you heard of Crohn's? Do you have any idea what it was? And I remember sitting there saying, oh, I thought that was like something that old people got. And yeah, from there it was like I joined Cicra and obviously like Crohn's and Colitis UK, and I've since then I've discovered so many people that have it, but because it's not you can't see it from the outside. You don't know. You don't know just by looking at someone. You can't just say, you know, you've obviously got Crohn's or colitis. It's something that people tend to keep them to themselves a lot more because it's obviously a bit more personal and a bit more private. So, but yeah, I've spoken to so many people now.
Yeah, it's me too. Which like it's good. Like you get to meet new people. Like we know of each other. We don't speak to each other all the time, but we speak to each other sometimes. Which it's good because like you still keep those connections with other people that have Crohn's, ulcerative colitis, IBD. But I like you. I never actually heard of anything when I was diagnosed. I didn't heard of Crohn's, didn't have ulcerative colitis. I didn't know what it was. I just thought I had some sort of bug that was gonna get cured or something. Like like when you're really ill or something. But it's yeah, like and like you said, Ben, it has no look like Crohn's, colitis, and like occasionally people will maybe judge that, like people who don't know about it, and they'll think you look fine, or even if you're really ill, they're still people may think you look fine, or if you're not, it's the same kind of thing there. But this is why we kind of raising talking about our stories, because like we talk about it, like because it is hard to talk about, isn't it? Because I'm sure all of us from straight when we was diagnosed, we didn't really want to maybe speak about it at all. Like to like maybe your family, but maybe not with people like outside, like your friends or people like that.
I really struggled with like bringing it up to people, and it's only really been like the past 2 years that I've actually started like openly talking about it, just because I never felt like I feel like I never admitted to myself that I had it. And then like I finally, because when I was at sixth form, my physics teacher had it, and it was really, and I saw him because I obviously went to school. I saw him basically every day, and it was really nice to see like someone else going about their normal life with it, because I always felt like it was something that made me different and like people judge me for. And it was really like reassuring to see someone else just living with it, and that made me want to talk about it more, because I would talk to him about it, and it just made everything more normal, which was really good.
Yeah, it's good when like if you have like a teacher or some sort who has it too, because like you like I think it's rare you find like I always find, you know, if I'm saying to someone like I only bring up my Crohn's if it's necessary. So for like maybe more so these last couple of years because of COVID and having Crohn's or like IBD can make you more vulnerable to catch things anyway. So like in those kind of settings, I might say I've got Crohn's. I need to be maybe a little bit extra careful than maybe some people who don't have it. And I normally hear like people wouldn't say they've never heard of it. I find that really rare now. Like people say to me, I have not heard of Crohn's. Like I think to get more better with like the awareness side of things, that they'll either say like, yeah, I've heard of it, or I know of it, or I have a friend that has it. I always get the response like, my friend has that, or and which is good, but it's still if their friend has it, they're not going to really understand properly themselves. So it's still hard, isn't it?
Yeah, I think when I was diagnosed, because I've suffered with the symptoms since I was like in year 7, I think it was. And obviously I'm like 19 now. I'm technically in my second year of uni because I changed my course. So it's like 8 years ago now since I've had like the first symptoms, and you know, it took me probably 3 years since I started experiencing symptoms, 3-4 years to actually start talking to people. And I was very against the idea of counseling and whatever. And then eventually I was like, I will do anything to get some answers or to get some help. So I went through CAMS, and then I've had loads of help through psychologists, and I've got friends that do more, I suppose, official stuff within the IBD community that I'd still speak to on a regular basis. That, you know, and now it's like I could probably happily stand up in front of a room of people and give a talk about IBD, because I'm that like confident in what I have now, and I'm happy to raise awareness. It's good to help people understand.
Yeah, yeah, it is, because like I was diagnosed last year of school, which what like year 11, so it wasn't that great, not best of times, but um it was exams time as well, so that kind of side of things. And um I had to miss certain lessons. Well, the school was pretty understanding, and um which was good. In a way I got diagnosed pretty fast, because if not, I might have to have more time off, which wouldn't have been a bad thing. Like it's not bad missing, but you still have to catch up, and I still went in pain because I knew I had to catch up anyway. But yeah, like you say, Ben, I've done talks before, but like in front of people, but I haven't ever like I did I made a presentation before about Crohn's, and people didn't believe I made it. They thought someone else made it, not me. And I think the hard part when you do a talk is if when they answer you questions afterwards, like like it might be very personal stuff where you might not want to speak about it. But like certain things like blood, like you're not gonna maybe say to like someone every day, oh look, I got like I got blood in the toilet, and it's a bit uncomfortable topic, isn't it? Yeah. Like do you guys have any of you guys had surgery with your Crohn's colitis? Yeah.
No, I've
None
not
yet,
had
luckily.
anything.
No? Me too. Me too. Good so far. It's good we haven't had that. Because do you ever like is that one of the things that you kind of hope doesn't happen? Like having
Yeah,
surgery.
because I heard of a couple of people, and it's just like, in a way, it like helped them because like they got it completely cut out, so they didn't have any of the like stomach and like gut symptoms, but they still had all of the other symptoms. So it was a kind of blessing and a curse. Like they still got all the fatigue, and they like still had to take certain medicines and stuff. But it was they didn't actually have the, I think it was colitis anymore. But
Mhm.
Yeah, I think I'd be terrified if I was told, we want to perform some surgery on you and whatever. But at the same time, because I know a couple of people who now have like stoma bags, and I know that I suppose overall their quality of life has improved. So it's like you say, it's kind of a blessing and a curse. But I guess the more you like have it and get used to it, I guess the easier it gets and you become comfortable with it. So it's definitely not something that I would look forward to, but if it was to happen, I would, I'd embrace it, and because that's something that I'd have to do, and I'd happily do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I'm just saying, like I see like you see lots of people have a stomach bag and stuff, and I haven't really met anyone who hasn't had a bad experience with it, but but yeah, it's something I've always feared as well. Like you don't want it. I think most people have it when they can't go on any more medication. Like all the medication they've tried it can't work anymore. Um, which it's yeah. So who knows what the future will bring, but like if it happens, it happens. Like if it doesn't, all right.
yeah,
um, yeah, like yeah, do you guys like with um like raising awareness? Do you guys do you, would you class that as a hobby?
I'd say so. I'd say it's something that you enjoy doing in your spare time because it's a bit like volunteering, but not like in the sense that volunteering could be a hobby.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd say so. I don't see why it wouldn't be. It's the same as, if you I don't know, walking dogs or playing games, whatever it is. It's something you enjoy, and you're doing it because you enjoy. So yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, yeah. Because I think like more recently you have more maybe I guess celebrities who've started speaking about it. Like I think you've got a Strictly Come Dancing like that Amy from there. You've got Dynamo that who has it as well, and like actor called Sasha Dewan, who's I think involved with Crohn's and Colitis UK a lot. So like you have more people like that who I guess like we talk about our stories, but if you have more wider audiences where it's a bit like theirs, you get more maybe treatments even help get a diagnosed faster as well. Because
Mm.
like with you, Ben, it's like you said, it took a while for you to get diagnosed, and unfortunately some people can't. Like so a lot of people do get misdiagnosed as well.
Yeah, it is a frustrating part of it because yeah, it's like you look for answers for so long, and you get, because I think for before I was diagnosed, for those sort of 3 years before, I was constantly sort of pushed off by doctors and different people saying, oh, it's toilet anxiety or it's IBS, which is really frustrating, especially when you look back on it now. It's like, well, it's not, and it's quite clear. Obviously, it's very clear to us as people who have IBD what the difference is between IBD and IBS. But obviously, other people, it's not so obvious to. But yeah, it can be frustrating.
Definitely, and like with IBS, especially when I remember at college, and like people with said, do you want this milkshake because you've got IBS, haven't you? And I said, no, I don't have IBS, and I don't want a milkshake. But yeah, like, let's speak about that. Is there anything that you guys have to like avoid, like maybe eating or drinking?
Not really. I don't really drink caffeine. Like I don't have any caffeine at all. Just because I used to be on medication that like you couldn't have caffeine on, and now I've just kind of, because you hear a lot of things about it like messing with people's like stomach and stuff, and I was like, I just don't think it's worth it to try and incorporate it when I've gone this long without it.
Yeah, I think I'm the same. I don't drink caffeine. I don't drink alcohol. I mean, and they're kind of not by sort of medication telling me that, oh, you shouldn't drink this. It's just by choice, I guess, and it's just never like appealed to me. And I enjoy uni life, typically go out drinking, clubs, whatever, but I quite enjoy sort of just if we go out, I'll just have a can of Coke or something. I'm quite happy to just chill with that kind of thing. And in terms of food, the only thing I notice is more greasy food, like if I was to go to like a fish and chip shop, for example, that can sometimes not flare me up, but it often makes me a bit more uncomfortable the next day. That's the only thing I've noticed.
Yeah. I am the same in the terms of caffeine. I don't have caffeine too, but sometimes I think because with fatigue, it might be helpful, keep me awake.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't have that. I stay away from spicy foods as well. So I don't eat anything spicy, but I do like spicy foods at the same time. Like if every once in a while I might have a kebab, but I would always love the chili sauce. Like before Crohn's, I would tip it. I like the sense that I tip all chili sauce on it, and I have a drink every 5 seconds of water. So I always like that. But if I ever did now, I wouldn't put it all over. I would maybe dip a chip in it every so often. But yeah, I miss that kind of stuff. But caffeine, it's not good to have caffeine as well as like all the time anyway. So we're not missing much with that, except from we want to be more awake. I think. What other than talking about our stories, guys? What are your kind of hobbies? What do you like to do? Other than like maybe uni.
I like to bake, and I like to like, try new recipes and stuff because my parents are both chefs, so I grew up a lot with like cooking and stuff surrounded me. So it always makes me feel like it calms me down when I'm like stressed over anything, and I just like to do it, which is in my spare time and stuff.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I love my football. I love my F1. In terms of like if I'm stressed or anxious or whatever, music's always my go-to. You rarely catch me without headphones on. Yeah, I'd say, I do a lot of gaming as well. I play a lot, and I have a lot of sort of my friends that I talk to all the time, and I suppose I have a job as well that's completely remote, which is perfect for being at uni, and it's not heavy, but it gives me enough money to keep myself afloat while I'm at uni, and which is really nice. So yeah, I'd say main hobbies really are sort of F1, football, and music, gaming, I suppose.
Yeah. I I love that, Ben, because with I like gaming too. With cooking, actually, it's quite a funny story because when it was Crohn's and Colitis Awareness Week, I think a couple of years ago when I was at college, the chef was off. Uh, so I went in the kitchen, me and a few MDA staffs, and we said, I'm gonna cook some Crohn's and colitis themed cupcakes and then sell them for £1, and then we'll go around the cottage, see if anyone wants to buy one. And I said, and then I did it because I thought, why not? And then I've done some cooking time to time. But yeah, it's good that you like that, Macy. Like it's good hobby. And Ben, like with gaming, I like gaming sometimes, and football. Do you think football's coming home, Ben?
We can hope, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm not massively confident.
No, I don't. I think when you come to England, I don't think many people are.
Especially when it's somewhere like Qatar as well. It's not a place where people are used to. It's not a climate where, you know, the English players are used to playing. So I think it'll be a bit of a stretch, but who knows?
Yeah, I think in the terms of like, because when a World Cup is in the summer, they maybe have a long break before they come back, and this time it's kind of that they've played a game the last week and then they're playing one pretty soon. So I think they're more maybe fitter to be playing in it than maybe past World Cups.
Yeah, they're definitely still in their rhythm, I suppose. So could play into their hands, but who knows? It's going to be weird having it over the autumn winter period.
Yeah. But who knows? Football could be home for Christmas. Who knows?
It would be a miracle.
Yeah, it would be really good. Like my hobbies are like football gaming. Like I've got the wall chart up already to put the scores down for the football. I like Doctor Who, like blue box in the background. You may notice, hard to miss. So yeah, hobbies really link in with kind of what we do. Like even if it's just raising awareness. So it's great to hear you guys as hobbies. But before we go, I just want to ask you guys if you have any like advice or any final thoughts that you want to say. I'm going to start with Ben this time, then go to Macy, kind of swaps it around a little bit.
I feel like the one big piece of advice that I suppose two pieces of advice that I'd give is talk to people. You know, it's hard, and you know you will struggle to start with, especially if you're more of an introvert and you struggle opening up. It is difficult, but if you can open yourself up to people and spread awareness, then it's great, and people will appreciate that. And you know, the more people that understand, the better, really, because then they'll understand you and they'll appreciate you for who you are. And then the second is, I've learned that it will get better, but it may also get harder before it gets easier. You know, everybody's bound to have a flare up at some point. And yeah, so it gets better, it gets easier, but there will be bumps in the road. And if you can get through those, then you can get through anything.
Yeah, I completely agree. And Ben, because have you been on a podcast since we did it last?
No, I've not been on a podcast. I've done a few bits with a guy called Seb Tucknott, who he runs a company called IBD Relief. One of the most inspirational people I've ever met. I've met him in person. I've done interviews with him, and he is just brilliant. And I've done a few bits with him with regards to getting information and opinions from people. I suppose similar to this, but not in like a podcast format.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard of that. So it's really good that you're doing other things as well. But yeah, thank you, Ben. There's some really good advice there as well. Macy?
I would also say to like talk about it and be open about it, and also to listen to yourself, because it's a lot, and like, because you've become a lot more aware of things. And I think I used to kind of ignore like parts of my Crohn's because I didn't really want to associate with it. But I think now you need to like listen to yourself and just be aware of everything that's going on, because it's easier if you're like aware of everything and then you catch it sooner before you properly go into like a flare or anything. It's a lot easier to deal with.
Yeah, I completely agree, and great advice there, Macy. And like how do you think your first podcast went?
Very good. I think
Yeah.
it was very fun.
Yeah.
And it was nice to talk to other people with like IBD.
Yeah. I think it's really fun. Like you can say you've done a podcast now.
Yeah.
So yeah. Well, thank you, Macy and Ben. I'm glad that you come in here today and you've enjoyed it. And I hope you have a nice Christmas and Happy New Year as well.
Yeah,
Right.
you too. I'm happy. I enjoy doing stuff like this, so it's really nice to do this kind of stuff. And I'm always happy to do anything like this.
Yeah. Like we say, Ben. It's 2 years since we did it, so it's great to have you back again.
Yeah, it's been nice. It's been really nice to catch up and give some updates and hear some updates from you and Macy. It's been really good.
Yeah, well, Macy and Ben, thank you again, and I'm glad you enjoy it. To everyone who's watching and seeing this today, we hope you've enjoyed it, and even learned some new things, as well. So thank you everyone, and hope you have a nice rest of your days. Day, not days.